Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? It's that time again. Yes, 2 weeks has passed. Can you believe it? Since the last The Hair Show. But yet we are now back every 2 weeks. I hope you have it in your diary. Monday, 8 o'clock. Great to have you here. My name's Dom Lehane. I see a few of you dropping in gently. I think Tony was the first in with a hi. So nice to see you along, Tony. Hope you're doing good. Mandy's there. So I'm going to just do some little check through shortly. But you know the format now of The Hair Show. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? If you've been tuning in the last two episodes that we brought you, I think the concept of conversation has been just brilliant. And the feedback that we've had has been off the scale, and so this is going to be the way forward. We're going to be consistent every 2 weeks. We're coming. You may have been expecting me not being here, but Norman, George, and Rheanna were going to be hosting tonight. I was going to be having a night away, but Norman, we send our love out to you, Norman. He's actually doing a house move with his friend, but he will be back in again very soon. So the key is, if you want to be in here, because your voice makes this show, yes, the Everyday Hairdressers Show, and there's no other show like this where you can actually be involved in this conversation and bringing up your name onto the screen. If there's things that you want to add into the conversation, if there's a topic you feel we want to talk about, then that's how you could do it. Now, we've got George's delightful husband, Dave, sat there. I think he's putting some messages in. You'll see, if you're watching in the How to Cut It Hairdressing Community Facebook group, you need to just grant Ecamm, the software that we use, permission for us to just flag up your name. So click on that. Takes all of seconds to do. If you're watching it in my own profile Facebook group, no problem, we'll see your name. And if you're watching on YouTube, get stuck in as well. I think we've still got very few people on our YouTube channel at How to Cut It. But yeah, get involved, because they'll see you along here too. So before we take a look at what's coming up on the conversations tonight, let's have a little look. Now, I'm guessing that could be Jacqueline Hurst, because I saw Mandy tag you in. Nice to see you along, Jacqueline. Hey, Jez, how you going, mate? Nice to see you, Jez. Yeah, there we are, Jacqueline. How you doing? Nice to see you. Heather's along tonight. Good to see you, Heather. Hello. We also have Mustafa. How you doing, Mustafa? Great to see you here, mate. Where else? Hey, Ryan. Nice to hear you. See you here. We've got Janet, Pivot Point, Facebook user again. Grant, Ecamm permission, and we'll definitely get you up on the screen. So there's the link. Okay, so that's so we're broadcasting with Ecamm. You need to just click on that link, all of 2 seconds, and then we'll see you up there. Hi, Ryan, great to see you along as well. So what we got coming up on the show tonight? Well, before we bring the lovely ladies out, this is where we're going to be going with the conversations. We are going to be talking tonight, why as an industry are we most reluctant to increase prices? Yeah, are we still keeping our prices too low? Or maybe we're outpricing ourselves. Are we too expensive? Whatever your thoughts, that's going to be a conversation. So maybe think about some things that you could add into that. Then we are going to be heading into this one. This is an interesting one. Should we encourage or discourage social media growth in salon teams, i.e. team members giving them a profile and going with their profile on social media, and then they leave? Is there loyalty there? So that's a great topic. Looking forward to that one. This came in from Pina. She put this one forward. How do we evolve apprenticeships? Have they become stagnant? Is there just something basically going wrong with apprenticeship? Or is it going right? Maybe you've got a different view on it. So that's another topic we're going to be heading into. And then, why are we not retaining talent in the hairdressing industry? Yeah, too many people seem to be leaving. Is there a problem? Is there a problem after COVID? Lots of things to talk about. So how does that all sound for you? You all up for that sort of conversation? Let us know in the comments. So, hi, Safia, just see you joining there. Again, any topics, feel free, put them in the comments. We are reading them all, and hence why you see me keep looking over to the side screen. But let's bring on my delightful co-host tonight. Really happy, as always, to have our wonderful Georgia Bell, and back it on the show, Rheanna Wood. How are we both, ladies?
Hi. Good, thank you, Dom. How are you, Georgia?
Yeah, all good. It's so nice to see you, Ree. It's been a while.
It's been a while, definitely. I'm back.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
where
great
you
to
been
see
then,
you.
Rhea? Have you been out and about on your travels?
I have been, yes, I went skiing for the first time ever. Extremely, it's a lot more scary than I thought it was going to be. But that's where I was. And then I've moved house. So seems like I had a whole big trip with that as well.
Yeah, and George, it's fair to say you're still absolutely full on at it right now.
7 days a week, baby. You know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's busy times, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, good to have you both along tonight. So, Ree, I think you've been seeing some at the hair show, haven't you? I know you watched in. What was
Yeah.
your take on the format?
Oh, absolutely love the changes. I think we really enjoyed the setup before, and I think maybe it was self-indulgent. We were enjoying the little funny parts, but just to really get down into some of the topics, I really enjoyed watching it. And I was talking, I said, we've got a little group chat, and I was saying to the guys that I was talking at the screen like I was involved in it, and then forgot that I was watching it back. So that was definitely a good sign.
Yeah,
So you got
it's
great
yeah.
topics
I
today.
think it is. I mean, we were saying as well, George, that there isn't a show I don't think that quite gives us this sort of hangout and to come and have this sort of big topics and conversations.
No, I think it's really important that we're getting into the nitty-gritty, and it's all the topics and conversations that people want to talk about but don't necessarily talk about. And I think, there's definitely a place in the market for that. So I think, yeah, it's really special, and I love what it's becoming, Dom.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's good. It's not going to be going anywhere. The hair show. And actually, we were just sitting before, just in the before coming live, and we were talking about an idea, weren't we? So Rihanna suggested it, maybe about bringing some of you in live during the show.
Yeah, definitely. How cool would that be? Like really getting everyone involved on another level, really. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
basically,
think
how that would work. Yeah, wasn't it, Rihanna? You were sort of saying.
oh, sorry, yeah. The thing is, the only way as a hairdressers really that we get to talk about these things, if you get a chance, is at really big industry events. Oh,
Dom, what
um,
you doing, mate?
Press the
they're
wrong button.
they're quite few and far between, I think, the industry events. And when we're there, most of us are watching hair. And it's, if you are in your own salon with your own team, or you are a stylist in a salon, or even if you're in shoots, the chances of you really getting together and being able to talk with other hairdressers and find out what's going on in their world, their life, their salon, their career, you never really get to do it. So that's why I think this is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Anyway, shall we get going into our first topic of the night? So, yeah,
Let's do
topic
it.
number one. So here we go. Yeah, George, this has come
Okay,
from
this is
you.
yeah, this is mine. So, why, as an industry, are we most reluctant to increase prices? Now, this is a funny one, and I'll probably cause a little bit of controversy here. But my clients never really argue my prices. But I will say something. It's the people that have always worked for me beforehand that have always argued about the prices that the salon has set. And I just wanted to bring it up as a bit of a topic, because actually, until you open your own business and until you know your overheads and until you know what things are going to cost you, it's not okay for staff to say, whoa, that's too much money. Or do staff not value themselves enough to charge that amount? Like, really, the amount a business sets should be that, and it should be okay. It's never, ever, ever my clients that question what I charge.
What
But
about you?
I think the main problem of this is actually our industry. So we talk about like we're reluctant to increase prices. It's our industry that are reluctant to increase them. And actually
Yeah,
we're doing ourselves a bit of a disservice, really, because we're not valuing ourselves enough.
Mm.
yeah.
So I'm already going to pick up a comment just come in. Hi, Paul. How you doing, buddy? If the client questions the price, they aren't your client. Yeah, what a
Mm.
great comment.
Yeah.
Do you get the, I mean, is this something that happens quite regularly? Maybe in your salon, Rihanna, the people will question prices. Maybe when prices go up, that awkward moment.
Do you know what? Our salon's a bit different to George's in the way that we've got like minimal staff now. Um,
Oh, I've got minimal staff too, so
have you?
I think
Yeah.
we're quite similar.
Oh, good. Because I think put it this way, when I wasn't a hairdresser, but I was working in my mum's salon when she had a big salon with a lot of staff, and it probably wasn't the clients that were making a noise. It was like George was saying, it was the employees. But the clients had more of an option to go between a range because there was about five price levels. So if anything, someone would just drop down a stylist, and if they moaned about the lower stylist, we'd recommend them to the model night. um, but I feel like now it's pretty much just two of us that are, fully qualified, go, the full stylist. I've got Kira, who's amazing, and she's just about to finish her qualification, and she's pretty good at knowing her worth and has never questioned it. If not, she would probably want to charge more. And I think that's kind of us that's built it in with her. The clients are only saying when we do big jumps, but I think in the past we've had to do big jumps because we do so many different textures of hair. When we first opened, we weren't expecting the different textures, so we had one price for long hair and one price for short, and then sometimes we were getting people that were coming in with short hair but loads. So then we started to break it out between curly, wavy, and then I don't think people really moan. We're very transparent about the prices at first. And the consultation, I really do go through and say, you will need this, you probably will need that, and I don't feel comfortable to do your hair without that, and this is worst case scenario. But when it was coming to employees, I was finding in the other salon, a lot of the younger employees and the girls they'd never worked before working in hairdressing. They'd never ever paid to get their hair done because they were young and maybe their parents paid before. So remember doing a staff meeting years ago and saying to them, everybody has a vice. Everybody has something they're willing to spend loads of money on. And at the time, it was years ago, so the girls were all getting these Michael Kors bags for like £200-300, and they were like 18 years old. And I was saying that you might spend loads on a bag, and you might spend 100 quid when you go out drinking WKDs. But this lady, that's where she spends her money. And I might spend like 5 grand on a holiday. But
Yeah.
everyone has their thing. So
Yeah.
sometimes I find, and if we're getting people coming into the industry that have already paid for hair previously or they're older, they don't seem to care.
Yeah.
That's the only
No,
thing I'm getting.
really
And
good
I
point.
thought bills were expensive because my mum always did my hair. I thought, who wants to spend £300 on their hair?
Yeah, and Rachel here. Hey, Rachel, by the way. Yes, this is true, but it's because sometimes it keeps doing that, doesn't it? Sometimes we don't value our worth a lot of the time, or we're too scared to. I mean, I think that's really true, isn't it? That do we undervalue ourselves too much as an industry?
I think there's too much comparison. I think because some people have undervalued themselves over the years, I think the new community that are coming up, I think really have value for time a lot more. Hence why I think a lot of people going self-employed and feeling like, no, I want to get what I'm due, but don't feel like they could sustain that price within the salon because other salons are not moving up with us. I spoke to somebody on my road. We've got 11 salons on this road. It's crazy. Welcome to
11.
Essex. One big
Uh,
salon. I
uh,
spoke to him and he said, if we put ours up, will you put yours up? I thought that
do
was
you
pretty
not
good.
all have a similar price guide? I mean, is this as an industry? There's just too much of a gap between a salon to salon?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
constantly competing. I'm constantly competing against, people that don't take cards, people that don't pay the tax, people that don't pay the VAT. I'm constantly competing against cheaper people. And I think sometimes
yeah,
what I'm saying is the problem comes from our industry. And it's all right for an employer to say, oh, I don't understand our work. But if you've got an employer there that is employing people, and paying their wages, well, then it's not okay for those employees to decide what price they're going to charge for hair because actually it's about owning a business and running a business. So maybe is
yeah,
it our job as an employee to make them value themselves more? I'm not too sure with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. definitely in different ways.
Is there a going rate? I know that sounds terrible, but is there a going rate? Let's just say,
I think if you're going to do a short back and maniac, yeah, there's a growing rate of a fiver. But if you're going to really put care and time into what you're doing and you're going to do bespoke colour or extensions or creative haircutting, then no, I don't think there is a going rate, because I think the value is within yourself as an artist, within your brand, and within the service that you provide. So, yeah, if you want to do uh, number two back and sides, then yeah, I think charge a fiver. But if you're doing something special or you're trying to be more, then there is no going rate.
is there a
Yeah.
part actually where some of our industry is starting to charge too much? There, some people would say, "Hey, wow, you know what, £600 an hour?"
I don't
This
think
is
it's
what
too much. It's whatever you are worth, what you think you're worth. How much do I want to be paid to stand here and do that? That's what I think. That's how I
well,
price.
I mean, personally, I'll be on £600 an hour. I think that's taking piss. I'll be honest, unless you're like, I don't know, someone rate special. Do you know what I mean? But I will say that I think that you need
Well, I
to.
interviewed someone on a podcast. They do hair extensions, and they charge £500 per hour, but they are Covent Garden. So I'm guessing a big part of them profits are already going to be taken up because of the high street location. So I guess factoring in prices, you got to think about your location. If you're a bit secondary location, then I guess prices are going to be kept lower. Or should they just be high wherever you are in terms of, I mean, look at Kai Wilson. I mean, he's in an industrial estate in East London.
What do your clients value as well? I suppose you've got to ask yourself that. What do your clients value? Do your clients value your brand and your vibe and what you give them, and all them little extra specialities that you give them, whether you give them a free product or a bag of sweets or whatever? Or do they value your time and your sort of blood, sweat, and tears into all the bit of training that you've done? What is it that your clients are after? Are they after that service and after that haircut? Or are they after like a vibe? Because more often than not, let's say, for example, you have a team and then half of your team leaves, more often than not, clients will follow that team unless the vibe's really good. So I suppose it's finding out from your clients, what are they after? Do they? But
Yeah,
more
I
often
mean,
than not, those clients come to your business, right, originally because they like your vibe.
I
Because they
mean,
don't
Maddie
know a
Cook does her
stylist, do they?
pricing calculator, and I saw Maddie do another post, and it was very true that actually, do you look at the end of the month or end of the year, and you actually look and you think, I'm just not earning enough money. When you're almost just two disasters away from having no money in the bank account. Is that maybe saying to you that you are undercharging yourself?
Yeah. Or
Absolutely.
sometimes I don't think that necessarily equals the undercharging, because I think there's a lot of things that people need to do within the business first. You might have way too much waste of product, you might be paying staff way too much, or there just might not be things that are effective. But I think once you've drilled down your business model, worked out that everything is running smoothly and effective, and you think, I know that one of the reasons why our price is what it is not just because of our skill and not because we realized we had a niche so we potentially could, or even the area. Most of it is actually to do with the products that we get in. We get stupid products in that are stupid expensive for us to get in, and we use all of the products we sell rather than maybe we had 6 product brands, and instead of maybe saying, okay, we only use these ones that aren't that expensive and we just squidge them into our hand. I always say to people, the reason we have these products is because we are nothing without them. Like,
Mm,
I could try and do your hair with as much skill as I can, but we have shopped around the world to get the best in science for you. Therefore, our prices on something as simple as a blow dry are more expensive than other people's, because you've been given the treatment with something really good at the backwash. This has been blow dried into your hair. So we know that our price reflects our skill, but just as importantly, it reflects the cost of the products, the tools, the brushes, and everything we were going to do, and to maintain the salon. Any women might have been to these, you go to a Vietnamese nail salon and they look really good when they first got the shop, and then after 5 years everything started to break, and you go in 5 years time and it doesn't look good. So part of the money is also to make sure that we're maintaining the space, and the space is always going to feel like the first time they walked in. I think there's a
Amazing.
lot
Right.
of things. Yeah,
Look, we've got some comments coming. I want to pick up some of these comments here. Thank you, by the way, for that, Rhiannon. That's absolutely spot on. I agree. So again, 20-second delay. I'm going right back, and there's so many comments coming in. Where do we go? Paul. If anyone is really struggling with getting the team on board with your pricing strategy, DM him. £100 on weekends, is that weekdays? I'd be wrecked. Let's have a look. Yeah, Paul again, just put in here. It's never about price and always about value. And yeah, absolutely. Facebook user again, grant permission that we can see who we're talking to. The sooner salons base their prices on time spent plus products plus VAT, the more the client will get the message.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Rachel, we are valuing what we are doing more and more, but education is helping with that, such as Maddie Cook, who it really helping so many see value in what they do. What else have we got? Yeah, obviously about the cost of sitting in a salon chair in Bond Street is going to cost more than the local village. Yeah, the costs are, but hey, it's... If you feel
You can
confident
say
enough,
that, but I've got a salon in a shit town, and we've got the best of everything. We've got move to, so calls don't come in. We've got forest. We've got, loads of things that actually your basic salon in Rotherham town centre wouldn't have. So yeah, although rent is always going to be higher in more valued locations, we have got a lot of things that we perhaps didn't need to spend money on, but we want to give that to our clients because we want to give a full experience. It's not just the service and the haircut and the colour is important, but it's everything. It's the vibe. We want
do
to
you
sell a
work
vibe.
for Rotherham Tourist Board, by the way, George? You
Do you want
always
that?
upsell
Sorry.
Rotherham. Do you work for the Tourist Board for Rotherham, by the way?
No, I don't. I should though, shouldn't I?
Oh, well, what you? Yeah, you really do sell it to us. Colette here, hi Colette. All other professions charge their worth. As soon as plumbers were regulated, gas safe, they doubled their prices overnight. It comes back to that thing, doesn't it, Colette?
Absolutely,
Regulation.
yeah.
We all know about the. Vanessa's just put here. Your clients should value you. What you got here, Rachel? My husband is a carpenter, and we always have this conversation. Yeah, why? Why is it plumbers, tradespeople, they charge us £60 just to come to you to start with before anything else starts?
Because they're not empaths, and hairdressers are empaths.
Yeah.
So if you're having a shit week, by the time you've got to till, we've knocked you 20 quid off.
Yeah, as you're just sort of saying what I was saying there. You're undercharging when you can't pay your bills and yourself. Colette again, prices has been depressed by the market. We are one of the few sectors that have a huge amount of non-qualified who have never trained or worked in the industry, charging cheap, which has an impact on us all. Ryan, what have we got here? I'm going self-employed soon, and trying to put prices together is frying my brain. What advice would you say to Ryan, Rhianna?
I would say, to be honest, you're going self-employed, it is kind of hard. So I think the first thing is you do have to do that, see what everybody else is doing, and then work out where you feel like you sit in it. That's the thing. It's not always working out everybody's and going in the middle. If you do feel like what you're offering and your service or what you want to be is higher than that, then price yourself higher. And also the pricing sometimes is worked out on what you really want to do and what you don't want to do. If you're offering a full range of services and there's stuff that actually as a professional you don't enjoy as much, you can price yourself out. I know different builders and things that have done it in the way of like, to be honest, I don't really want to do this job where it's going to be really messy. I'm going to have to pull a wall down and do this. So, I'll say it to the lady, it's going to take me X amount of time. It's going to take me ages to clear it up. And unfortunately, this is what I've got to charge for it. So I think in that way, compare yourself to other people, but then work out your value, what you enjoy doing, and know that when you set it, you're not going to move it for a bit. So don't price yourself under and then be frustrated that you're working and not getting what you feel like you're due. But make sure
And it is quite simple. Just like look at your overheads, see what your overheads are, and see how much money you want to make.
Yeah.
It is really as simple
exactly.
as that. Like, check your overhead,
Exactly.
see how much it's costing you, how much do you want to make, and then charge that.
I think if you're at the start of your career, get the pricing right and value your worth at the start. Because if you do it at the start, you'll never have a problem in your career. I think if you go in too low because you think you're new and you're starting out, be confident. And as I say, learn your craft, be the very best, use the best products, everything that you can give the best, and then you charge for it. And I promise you won't go wrong, because people want that. It shows confidence in you as well to be doing that, rather than worrying about everybody else. Be a high premium product, and it's the only way. And people will come, and you don't want
show
people
that you're
coming to
training
you.
as well. So if you
What an
are wanting
insult
to
to
get
it.
better,
Yeah, I
like,
come
show
to
that
you
you're
because you're
training.
cheap. Who wants to come to you because you're cheap?
No. And I think there's a lot of people that will also question prices that look too low, because everyone will assume that all prices will be based on just skill level. So even with me, if there's something that I'm going to have done, maybe in the beauty industry, if there is a facial and it is only £35 and up the road it was 180, I'm probably now suspicious of the £35, even though they could be just as good. So
Of course. But look, a great conversation. We've got more to come. We'll keep going through your comments. But great start. So let's go to our next topic. You were just saying something there, George, just as we hit the
I had to
button.
laugh at my stylist there, Andrew Cooper, because he put charge for premium, and we've got a joke between each other that we are like the most premium salon in Rotherham, so that's why I started
I did see a smile come on your face when that came up, by the way. This one came from yourself, Rheanna. So maybe you could just share with us where you want to go with this one.
yeah. So it's, should we encourage or discourage social media growth in salon teams? I think it's been a conversation for a while. I think before, a lot of salon owners were very against it, worrying whether it was going to take away from salon work, make it easier for people to go freelance and take their clients with them and skills with them. And then I think after a while, when we all started to realize that social media was a necessity, I heard a lot of big industry hairdressers kind of talking about making sure we're empowering our staff and all of this. I kind of sit in the middle somewhere with it. So it'd be really interesting to see what people think as independent stylists that work in salons, and also then salon owners, and maybe some good stories of when it has worked or when it hasn't worked.
Yeah. Okay. Is this something you've had any experiences with, George?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, what can I say? I've got so much to fucking say. No. I think as long as I think social media is very, very important, and I think it's important no matter where you're based, because to a lot of people, your social media is your shop window. I think as long as the salon is in the forefront of that person's social media, and that salon is being tagged and named for all the opportunities that they give stylists and this, that, and the other, I think it's okay, and I think it's perfectly natural for other stylists to then have their own social media that they then promote themselves on. But I think that obviously, if you're working for somebody and somebody's employing you, then actually, the salon has to be the most important bit of social media that you are doing, and it needs to be for the salon and not necessarily for yourself.
Is there not a way that we actually create the accounts for them under the brand of the salon? So
I mean, yeah, there is, but
you
it's a
know
lot of
which
fucking extra work, isn't it?
well, no, but you hand that to them, but you have the login details, don't you? You own
Yeah, I mean,
effectively, not that you own Nout on Instagram or
you don't own
Facebook.
anything, and this is
You
the
own
thing, and
seriously now, because that's a conversation again for another day. But I'm just thinking of ways of making this work that once they leave, because they're going to have their own account anyway, surely, aren't they?
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, and this is the thing, isn't it? Like, we're really secretive as a salon. We're like, oh my God, got to protect my computer system, got to protect my appointment system. But guess what, guys? There's this thing out there called Facebook, which means that no matter what stylist that work for you can literally go on your salon page and handpick all your clients and message them. So, what power do we have these days? You know what I mean? And I think, yeah, you could get a salon phone, and I've had cases where I've had a salon phone where everyone's had to take social media on that phone, and then that phone's left at the salon, and then I decide what social media we have. But I think, as a salon owner, you need to remember nothing's forever. So as long as they're doing banging social media for your salon and banging social media for their social media, then you can work together, and when it ends, it ends.
What
Yeah.
about
That's
if
the way
they're
I see
actually
it.
if they're posting content under your brand, but you're actually
Hmm.
not very happy with what they're posting because it's reflecting your brand, isn't it? If you work for Gucci or something, they're going to be very protective, aren't they, of what you post under that umbrella. So if they're posting work that you think actually, they ain't looking too good, do you have any control about that, Rheanna?
I've had it before where I've kind of had to make a non-professional but kind of a bit of a hint to an employee to be like, oh, you put that one up.
Yeah, I mean that's it. You
That
you
sort
look
of
at it and
thing.
you think, oh my goodness, because that's
Personal
reflecting my
artistic,
son.
yes, personal artistic preference. And what is actually quite hard is, before, where you've had a salon and you trained the staff and they've done people's hair, and you've kind of looked over and thought, oh God, I don't like that. But actually the client's really happy. But you think, oh God, he'll get better with time. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that can now obviously get put on their page. But I don't know. I just think unless it was anything really bad, I think they can put them things up, and then sometimes it is actually nice to see when you scroll down over a year how they've then got better. Because when I
You
look back at
scroll down,
our
you just see, oh
salon
my goodness, they
our
posted that.
salon pictures before were so bad from what we do now. I can't believe it. I look back and was like, oh God, we were
Yeah,
really
but this is a big part
good.
of our salon, isn't it? That we are giving them they have their own channel, their own handle, and they're posting work. Surely we should be a little bit more professional about this now, as we all openly admit that actually our Instagrams are bigger than our websites. Well, would you let your staff member go on your website
No,
and post inappropriate work?
no.
No,
No. So why are we allowing it on social media?
I
Because
would never allow it. I would never allow it. You know me, I don't mince my words. If it's shit, I tell you it's shit. But I think it's our job as a salon owner I think that there is an absolute skill in being able to photograph hair well. And
yeah,
actually, it's a course in itself, that to actually be able to photograph a process, to tell a story, to do, to photograph that work beautifully. And it's our job as a salon owner, and it's something that me and you have learned, Ray, with through various photo shoots that we've done or industry work that we've done. It is our job to retrain our stylist's eye. So in actual fact, when they take a photo and if they think it's okay when it looks shite, it's our job to say, hang on a minute, let's spend a week together and let me show you how to retrain your eye into something that's just okay to something that's beautiful. And I think it's our job as a leader to take that over. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's my
okay.
personal opinion.
Are you all agreeing watching this? Is there, is this stuff that you would
yeah.
agree with? Would you let people, really have free control over what they're putting on their content? What about when they leave? Is there something where there's an occasion they'll leave and they're still posting work that they've created in your salon space, in your salon time?
Mm.
Is that fair?
That's happened a lot as well to me, but that's
Yeah, I mean,
another
this is,
topic,
yeah.
isn't it?
But the photographers will have copyrights, won't they? There is things as copyright out there, and we
And
can be.
contracts as well, employee contracts. Like
But do
basically,
we
if
put
you,
this in contracts? Is this, it's such a new thing still, even though
Well,
it feels like it's been here forever, but it's still relatively new as we get to grips with the
yeah,
power
it's
of.
not, but the thing is we're hairdressers, right? So somebody hands you a contract, you don't fucking read it, do you? Someone hands me a contract, I don't read it, I just sign it and I go, yeah. And I don't really look at my contract because I'm a creative. And this is the
Mhm.
thing about the creative industry, you don't. So really, I always say that yes, there might have been things in my contracts before when people have left that they shouldn't have done certain things, but they've done it. But my thing is yes, you could then go to a tribunal with that, but never do that because you're pissed off. Only do it when you're facing financial detriment. And I think that's the most important thing, because I think we are just creative people. We're flitty. And I've signed loads of stuff in my life and I've not read it. Do you know what I mean? I think that I think that's just, I've literally signed my
I
life away
trust
before,
it.
and I'm
Yeah.
not ready.
Yeah, but we just do. So look, let's just go back to
Well,
some
let's
comments
put up
because there's some
some
great
really
comments coming now. I'm feeling guilty because I'm not bringing them up. And let's go right back here. Becky, how you doing, Becky? We can't stop that happening. I think it's a good thing that staff promote themselves. It gives them accountability.
That's a good
Okay.
point.
Yeah, great point. I think I may have flagged this up earlier from Colette. Works until the relationship falls down.
So true,
Very,
Colette.
very true. Yeah, social media is great for educating potential clients. Yeah, of course, that's where we like. Vanessa, encourage. My team are self-employed. I love them and just want them to grow. But there's a slight difference there, isn't there? They're self-employed. They're their own brand.
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
So you want them to be busier as well, which I suppose we do with ours.
Okay, Ryan, what's Ryan put here? I'm employed in the salon at the moment, but use my own social media as I'm the only one in the salon that uses social media for work-based things. Man, you just think that everybody does that, don't they? I guess that you are absolutely flying in the salon then, Ryan, because you're doing that. So are you doing that, Ryan, because it's obviously, yeah, like I say, you're employed. Are you doing it for the greater of the salon, or are you doing this for you? When you
And there's
leave the...
something about having a joint social media with your personal. I think if you were to get the go ahead by your boss to do it, I would then say that was some of the things that we would set is to say, if you want to post some work on your personal page, that is when you don't tag us in it. Because that could be reflective. What you do in your social life could be reflective of stuff that's going on in the salon. And then if you want to do a separate hair page, then I would probably put something in to say maybe we would encourage you. It'd be really great if you could promote the salon within your name title, and then have a little chat about intellectual property. And like you were saying, maybe it would be one of them things like, unfortunately, once you leave, any any of the pictures that were taken within the salon will be removed. If you've done anything externally or you've decided to take a client off to do a little shoot outside, you can keep that. But anything that looks like it's got the salon in the background, because sometimes
Yeah.
I've seen people set up their set as, go freelance and they're really working in a shed and then they're getting promotion off the back of people thinking that they're sitting in a building that they're
Or
not.
any opportunity that the salon has sorted for that member of staff as well, whether it be a competition or a photo shoot or some stage work, that then shouldn't be, once that member of staff has left, that then shouldn't be promoted
But
as
you've got to
their own
police
because
this.
it's
This
not.
is reality in the busy times that we all lead. You've got to police this. How are you going to police that? We need the hairdressing police. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Hairdressing police. Let's call them out. Cherie, how you doing, Cherie? I always encourage growth. If they did decide to leave, then that's their choice. And I never want anyone to be there who didn't want to be there. Yeah. Absolutely. You got big messages. So, Mustafa, you do great messages, but I know you always have some great things to say. Like everything that gets published on or for the salon's behalf, any social media needs to be controlled with regard to tone, message, etc. For the salon to qualify any social media messaging, go out from their staff and / or space. Yeah. Okay. What else have we got? See, I'm way behind. Let's see somebody. Hey, Justin. I see you along, Justin, former host on the show. I do content masterclasses with the team for them to grow their skills and ensure their work is banging for the salon page too.
That's
Yeah, I think
awesome,
that's great.
Justin.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea. I like that. Colette again. Colette's so going to come and be a host on this show one night as well when we're missing somebody. Have a fully social media and PR policy in place so standards are set as anything posted reflects on your brand. Yeah. Sorry if I'm way behind and we're going to have to move on to another section. Really good. I knew this would get you all going again. Surely, though, honestly, it's the best policy. If it's going on their own social media, could we not do training with the stylist to show what we want on their pages? I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's exactly going back to retraining that stylist eye, isn't it? And seeing something
There's a
better
salon
for
near
sure.
me who constantly put out poor images on Instagram. I think we all see them, don't we? Where are we? Let's have a look. Anything else that we got? I've learned. What's Andrew's on here? I've learned over the last year not to do basic social media posts.
Because you've got the best boss in the world, babes. That's why. Because I've retrained your eye.
Yeah, perhaps a contract like the old apprenticeship. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm way behind. Where else? Is there anything a little bit recent come in? Yeah, great comments. Really good. Yeah, enjoyed that. We're going to go
Yeah,
to
it
the
was
next
good.
topic.
Really
Really
good.
good. Right, this one, again, this, yeah, let's go to it. Okay, here we go. How do we evolve apprenticeships? Now, this came in, we put it out to the community for questions to come in. Pinar done this, contacted How to Cut It. With this one, I liked it. How do we evolve apprenticeships? Where do we start? Do we not? What's your take on the apprenticeship right now, Georgia Bell? Do you have any
It's taken
opinion?
me no, I do have of course I've got an opinion. It's me, Dom. It's taken me 6 years to find a really good apprentice. So I've got a really great one at the moment. But it's not been easy. And I think the problem stems really is that generations have changed. So when I was an apprentice, I was constantly, trying to please my boss. I'd do anything that was asked for, I'd stay late. Times have changed. So actually, I've had to learn as a boss that I've got to change the way that I treat my apprentices to get the most out of them, because we are in an instant gratification society, and actually they're not coming to fucking clean the shop like what me and you were used for back in the day. They're there to learn, so we have to utilize an equal amount of general work with great learning, and that's how you get a good apprentice. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, and very good personal opinion, that, George.
Yeah.
Rheanna.
Yeah, I massively agree with everything George was saying. I think you've really hit the nail on the head with how we're having to change and how we kind of deal with apprentices. Sorry. I still think there's a lot more work needs to be done within the colleges, like massively. I just feel only just talking to a client the other day, and it's like no one knows this, and everyone thinks this is absolutely crazy. I said, "Oh yeah," they said, "Oh, you're gonna get new hairdressers." Just had another one go. And I said, yeah, but hopefully this time we can actually get a hairdresser and not another apprentice. And they said, why? And I just said, it just takes so long to train them up. And I said, even if we didn't have the standards that we have, I said there, no apprentice will be ready to do hairdressing once they finish their course. If it was mainly based on what they learn at college. And it got loads of clients talking, and they were like, what do you mean? And I think they thought we were being picky. And I said, majority of people, you would probably finish and you would be able to you'd be able to put the colours on, you'd be able to do the basic cuts, but you wouldn't have been taught any way to use your brain outside of if something went wrong, if someone's head was different than a doll's head block, like, and also how to actually physically pick the colours, even if you do level 3. So it does come down to the salon owner, but it's a lot based on whether you can get the models, whether your apprentice even is okay with constantly feeling like they learned something and then they feel like they've got to start again. So I think what George said is giving that really nice balance of you've achieved something, you have done something really well and really good. And instead of maybe before, what we were doing is trying to teach everybody everything in one go, it's really teaching them one block at a time. And even if that's not going to be as rewarding money wise to the salon, because before it was kind of like, make sure you teach them a bit of everything so they can get going on basic cuts, basic styling, hair washing, this and that. I'm thinking maybe start to pick something that you feel like they're going to have a flair for, so they feel like they completed something and they are mastering and enjoying something, and they have that portion of their day where it's like, wow, I can't believe they've not even learned cutting, but they're foiling. And then the middle of the day is, okay, I'm tidying up, but I want to tidy up because I want to make sure the sound's really clean. So then I can start helping you. And I'm actually quite excited to pass up so I can watch what you do. And then the last third is, right, we're going to have to feel like you're starting again. And we're going to be a basic learner of a skill. And maybe that's how it's going to work.
Uh,
And can I
it,
just say something, Dom? Because I'm
yeah.
desperate. I've got to say something.
Uh,
So this is where bigger companies flourish, and people like me and you struggle because we are smaller companies. So everything is on so much more of a personal level, where that
Yeah,
apprentice has got to be so much more to interact with the client and to actually know what the fuck's going on. Whereas if you've got a big company, you could have a stylist that literally consults with a client, goes over, said, we're going to do some level 10 foils, we're going to do a 6 base level in between colour or whatever, and I'm going to come back and do your cut. You'd then say to a colourist that works in that big company, you're going to do me 50 foils in that head with a base colour. They'd then go and do it, have no basic understanding of the chemistry or anything behind it because you've got a stylist looking after it. And then that stylist would then come back and finish it off. So that's where me and you struggle more with our apprentices, because everything's got to be personal and
yeah,
perfect. Whereas, like with big brands, big companies, everything's like a machine. It's bump, 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 bump.
yeah, it's
Sorry, I
true.
had to say that.
no, it's
No,
a really
good
good
point.
point. It's a very valid point. Is Look, a real problem with our industry that there's no getting away from it is obviously the image it has, poorly paid, coming into apprenticeship, but also in a world where everything is so fast now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People, the speed of it, and is there too much of our industry which is looking back to a past that's long gone, and we have to modernize in a way that actually doesn't lower the quality, but we have to find quicker ways of getting people to a higher level.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
definitely.
we do, but we have to monetize the whole. We have to change, and we have to change the whole business model of employment then, because how long will it take small companies like myself or Ray
Mm.
employing people and not being able to put them on the floor? After 2 years saying goodbye to them, because we need it to be quicker for them, but we need it to be quicker for the employer as well. And I think
Yeah.
that's so
And
everything needs
also
to
there
change in
is
that
the
case.
prompt, because we're now seeing the rise of the freelance hairdresser, and there's nothing wrong,
Hmm.
people have that there is a reluctance of putting so much energy into an apprentice, through putting them through courses and your own personal time, which you are there to do. But there is that little part at the back of your mind thinking, am I doing this for them to just go off and take
it's
this?
it's the nature of our industry, isn't it? It's the same as tattooing. People come, they learn off you, and then off the trot, and they open their own. And unless as an employer we can give more, and we can make people feel more valued, whether that's a little bit more money or a little bit more opportunity. I'm not really sure what the answer is to that, but we've got to be able to give more, because otherwise people are just going to come, learn, and do one.
And go, yeah. I think as well, it's like within the industry now, trying to keep them is one thing. I think that's kind of always been there, but there's so much more options to just go freelance and earn money, set up Instagram, and it's not bad if you do one set of extensions for the day and you charge 100 quid. You're still beating the price in the salon, you're still getting paid £100 a day. It's not that
Hmm.
bad, but I think it's I know you, George, probably exactly the same way. People work for you, and the first thing probably is the vibe, the vibe, the people that you're around. I talk a lot with our apprentice about different options in the industry. In a way, I know that she is one of the only ones that we've had in a long time that would be really interested to get involved in some of the stuff that I do. And I talk to her really open and honestly about how I actually love to have my foot in each door, and the upsides of being in the hair salon and the downsides of being there full time and the differences in money, and then she can work that out. And I know she feels the same. She doesn't see herself being a full-time salon hairdresser forever, but she doesn't see herself making the leap as well. And I said, lucky enough, we've made a salon. I think a lot of people do have that, where I speak to some people and they feel like there's lack of creativity within a salon because you're just really doing what people want you to do. But I think if you've got a salon that's evolved in the way that you really are the creative stylist, and you've got to the point where you've got the trust, then it's more creative to me than doing a shoot and just executing what someone says. So I think all we can do for our apprentices while we're evolving them is evolve them into knowing what the options are, but being really honest to let them know why we are still in the salon, and
Yeah,
the
brilliant.
upsides, and then hope that they'll stay if they want to,
C-
and if they don't, they're not right.
I'm going to just bring in some comments again because I'm not flagging them up because it's great conversation, but I do want to just bring up some of the comments. But I think, don't we all just have to sit here and think about, we were all apprentices and we're all still here in the industry. We're still rocking up here on social media talking about the industry. So we clearly love the industry. So there's got to be lots of giveaways about what is right with your apprenticeship, because it didn't make you come out of the game. And I'd like you all to think about that. What
Yeah.
did you love about being an apprentice? What was it that just got that spark?
I love the vibe of having a salon that felt like I was in a family. Like when I was a Saturday girl and I worked in a salon, and it was those Saturdays and people were coming in and they were getting their hair done and they were going out, or like we'd all get ready after work to go out, and I felt like it was just more than a job. That's what attracted me to hairdressing.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
actual hair in the beginning, obviously the hair later on, but it was
No,
just the
but
fact
I
that I
think
felt
so.
like I
I think
fitted
we
in. It was
have to
great.
remember. I just worry though, so many apprentices are in salons that have just got washed up owners who are,
Yeah.
Not
and I
added.
understand it. They've maybe lost their own buzz. How are they going to get them engaged? And when sometimes at colleges, there's some amazing teachers at colleges, but there's also some awful ones
Excuse
who just have lost their passion. It's finding these ways of doing it. But look, I've got to bring in comments because there's some big comments. There's some, I'm going to take up half the screen, so I'm going to go right back. So bear with me. It was from Paul again. Got your podcast coming soon, Paul, as well. Can't wait for that. It's going to take me 5 hours to edit it, but it's where was it? Where are we? He started off so that how we gonna evolve apprenticeships, and it was comment. He coming start by getting Sophia Hilton and Connor Doyle around the table with the awarding bodies. Couldn't agree more with that. I think that's exactly, get these people around there. I like this as well. Facebook user, I don't know who we're talking to. Salon apprenticeships are Premier League in comparison to college trained students. Some colleges may argue with that, but I guess, Becky, what she put here, my son is 15 and trying to get work experience in barbershop, and 9 out of 10 are all self-employed salons. He can't get a placement anywhere. Barbers have attracted so many into the industry, haven't they? I feel like we are losing so many. I know he's a lad, but what is it that the barbering industry has done so right in
Well, there's a
attracting?
massive scene on the barber industry now. Do you know what? When I look at the barber industry on Facebook and all these awards and stuff for the bar, I feel, I'm a hairdresser, but I feel genuinely excited by the barber industry because I feel like there's just this really cool vibe around it that we
It's
seem
They've
to be
got it
cool.
missing, to
very
be honest.
street and very
Yeah, they're
now,
very
haven't they?
street and they're very now. I don't
Yeah.
think we are anymore. I'll be
It's
honest,
very
I don't think
cool.
we are.
Good
Also,
point.
I
Yeah,
think from the outside, you immediately see that it seems to be that you just drop in. And I think, the thing about having apprentices in the salon when they're going one day a week to do hairdressing at college or something like that, or they're learning in the salon, I think it's really different to dropping into a barber salon,
yeah.
and just,
Yeah,
and then,
it's just that
Marlene
barbershop,
here.
mentality. It's just really
yeah.
fucking cool. It even makes me want to get a skin fade. You know what I mean? I've got
Yeah.
mullet.
Well, I
Like,
do, yeah. 7 of my team have been apprentices with my salon. 2 of them have been there 18 years and 15 years. And downwards.
well done, Marlene.
Congratulations, Marlene.
That
Well, I
deserves
know,
a round
but
of applause,
Marlene is
my
a prime,
love.
and I know Marlene, and I got to know Marlene back in my days at Hair Club Live. But she's so invested in the industry, and I
Yeah,
think
absolutely, she
that's
is.
probably the biggest thing. I think you need to have people that are invested in opportunities. It's not always about money, but it's about opportunities and getting them involved in this. Hey, Charlotte, what's we got here, Charlotte? Sadly, we don't have any apprentices. We only have part-time assistants, people who aren't interested in learning the trade. They just want a job. Yeah, it's
Oh,
quite so. Colette, we have lost thousands of apprentices post-COVID due to watching YouTube and practicing as a hairdresser. That's a conversation for another day, actually.
yeah,
Anyway,
another
as they do
topic,
not have to be
Colette.
qualified. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good one. Cherie, what we got here? I only have a very small team, and from past experiences, I now don't want to employ anyone again. Mm, it's what we're hearing. It is what we're hearing. Again, yeah. Um, uh, hang on, there's so many good ones. Yeah, so again, Colette's just put that in. I don't mind. Please also suggestions to Colette Osborne at haircouncil.org.uk, and I will share your comments with the government. Love that, Colette.
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah, that's exactly where we need to be going. Right, we are
Yeah.
almost out of time, so it's going to be very quick, this one.
Yeah, because I'm getting hungry, Dom. I'm getting
I don't
hungry.
want that. Let's go to
Ah,
yeah, we don't want you getting hangry. Absolutely
I'm
no chance.
joking. I'm
Well, this
joking. I'm
kind of
joking,
leads
guys.
on, so we could come back to this on a very but you know we struggle. We talk about struggling getting people in the industry, but we are losing so many from the hair industry. Why? Why?
I want to go with this one first, right? Because I think we're going to say the same. First thing I want to say, I know it's very individual for people, but number one, no matter what, has got to be money. I'm going to say
Yes.
that is money. I know so many people that have left the industry that love the industry, but don't love the pay. And it's one of them things that we all know, the pay range that goes through being an educator, an ambassador, a salon owner, a salon employee, freelance, mobile, celebrity, session stylist, whatever you want to be, college teacher. Right, literally, it's a massive range. We all know people in the industry that are earning good six-figure salaries. It's what it takes to now do that. I think I would love to have a six-figure salary. I can tell you that I do not. But I actually personally don't want to be on social media for it. And unless I want to have a big chain of salons, it's probably not going to happen. I could jump back to accountancy and I could get that pretty easy with a few
Mm,
years. That's the
that's a really
sad
good
thing.
comment.
So people get to a point of having kids or wanting a house or thinking, actually, there are a lot of routes, but they are so different. They're
No,
really
I
different and
absolutely agree with
different
you.
personalities. Not
So
for all hairdressers.
And I
yeah,
would almost compare it as well to, like, let's just take three supermarkets, for example. So let's take Marks and Spencer's, Tesco, and fucking Aldi, right? If they're all
Yeah,
paying the same amount of money per hour, there's only a certain amount of people that want the social status of going to work at Marks and Spencer's. Do you know what I mean? If everyone's paying the same, people want to go for the easiest job. So we've got to be we to retain talent, we've got to be giving something so much more, and I think that does boil down to money. I believe it boils down to mental stimulation. I believe it boils down to really getting to know your staff and actually, like I said, we're creative. What do you want to achieve out of your years working with me? Do you want to
yeah,
achieve more money? Do you want to achieve a house? Do you want to achieve a holiday? What is it? And really find it. I think hairdressers, I've always said this, we are a different breed. We're not like normal people. And I think we need that we need that bit of mental stroking, that we need to feel like we're special. Do you know what I mean? And something, in order to achieve.
do you know, actually just doing this show, and I'm sitting here thinking, because there are lots of negatives that coming out of this, but we come back to the whole thing. We're all here because we love the industry. It has lots of problems. It can destroy us, it can bring us down, energy, all those things. But there is something about this industry that we love. And what I love about this show right now, that maybe somewhere along this journey as we go along with the hair show, between us all, we might start to unlock some of these problems. And that's why I
Mm.
think these topics are really important. Because, like Colette said, she's going to put some of these to the government. Surely, between us all, that we can come up with the answers to make this better for us all. And that means, getting that salary that we all thoroughly deserve. Thoroughly deserve.
Yeah.
The satisfaction, the lifestyle that we all deserve. We shouldn't have to be worrying and fighting between ourselves because they're doing freelance and I'm employed. We should all be doing it because it works. And Mustafa put it here. Where was it, Mustafa? I saw the story of the hairdresser is broken. It's just got to be rewritten.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I love that.
And I think you need to know that it's a complete cycle, isn't it? Because even when companies are doing really, really well and they decide to pay more and they decide to pay over the odds, you've got to understand that in businesses, you've got cash cows, you've got superstars, you've got different levels of hairdressers. So even when you do pay more and you've got that superstar team, that hopefully the end goal is, as an employer, you inspire those people to then move on and think that they can do the same. So you're always going to lose your superstars. There just needs to be a constant cycle for companies and businesses for people coming through. And like we talked before about trainees, and now we're talking about retaining talent, there's got to be a constant flow of that coming through for us
The
all
biggest
to
thing that
learn
could
to be
happen for
better.
us all, Colette again will say, but is regulation. I mean, the day that our industry gets regulated and it becomes hard to become a hair professional, not easy, not through watching YouTube, then that's when our industry will change. Because unfortunately, entry into our industry is too easy. Through watching YouTube, and you can be a hairdresser. How on earth are we going to be taken seriously? How on earth are we going to be able to charge the prices that we deserve to be charging when you've got Mo down the road charging, peanuts?
Yeah.
Regulation has to happen at this, and I hope before I'm buried 6 foot below the ground in my life that I see that happen, because then I think it will be the industry that we all want.
Better
and I
for
think it's
everybody.
a great. It
And when we see Americans charging, today I charged $450 for highlights and a cut and blow dry. Well, why can they charge that? Because they're regulated. Do you know what I mean? And that's just the way that it should be, I think.
And I don't think that the retention of staff has got any worse. I know when it got really bad, I remember it was the first stage of, I don't know if it was necessarily social media had kicked off, but I remember it was the individual courses that started getting offered to people that weren't stylists. And it was the same in the beauty industry. So we used to run beauty with the hair. And if we wanted to put the girls onto an eyelash course or, like an additional skills course, they always had to provide their MVQ certificate. And then, we all started seeing hair extension brands come out and keratin brands and other big brands offering these courses to do these treatments or to do hair extensions that people weren't hairdressing. So I feel like we lost a lot of people because people thought, oh, well, it's taken me ages to kind of pick up colour, and actually I don't really like cutting, and actually I could earn double and only work 3 days a week and do this at home. But I think I don't think that's got any worse since social media's gone, because I think it's the people that would have never have gone into hairdressing in the first place. I think these are young people that just want to earn quick money and probably would have gone into some form of business skilled job that are deciding, I've got loads of clients to do eyelashes. They're not necessarily because they're beauty girls or they're, do you know what I mean? They're not beauty girls and they're not girls that wanted to be in that sort of creative industry. They just were girls that grew up and wanted money, and that was going to be quick. But I think the reason why it feels like we're not retaining talent as much now is because, like we were saying before, there's not the entry into it. Before it was like, you build them up, you get them from 16, you might have them till they're 24, they're amazing, they leave, they love you. The fact they've gone somewhere else or set their own salon up only helps you as well, because they talk to other people and go, oh, I trained with blah, blah, blah years ago. If you want to get your daughter to train as a hairdresser, go to Rihanna's salon or whoever. I think it's the fact that we're losing our talent just as quick as we were before.
Yeah,
And then
I
we're
agree.
not doing anything in to replace it. And I think that's why we're so desperate to hold on to our staff and maybe not, I think maybe not push them as much as we should into the external world outside the salon.
And also because we can't push them like we used to be able to, because like I said to you earlier, times have changed. To push the way that my boss pushed me when I trained would be completely, well, it'd be borderline illegal now, let me tell you. Do you know, it'd be borderline illegal.
Yeah. But again, it
You
goes
know?
back a little bit to that was back then. That was them days. Them days are very different now, whether we like that or not. We just have to find different ways of making it
Yeah,
work.
absolutely.
And I believe we will, and I believe we have a lot to be excited by. I genuinely do. I think just having these conversations is a great start. And yeah, look, it's brilliant. Still got this big picture there of you, Charlotte, coming in. I think that young people do like apprenticeships because they don't like the basic training. They endure training the beginning of their career. In the end, hairdressers can earn as much as university graduates without having to pay back their uni fees. Hear to that. They're not appreciating me showing them my Sassoon diploma either. Yeah, look, thank you all so much. It's absolutely brilliant. We'll go back and read. If we haven't flagged up your comments, then yeah, we'll all go through and see it. It's going to be on replay for anybody watching on replay. Add in the comments, we will see that. And please, keep rocking up here. We're going to be doing this every 2 weeks. We're going to come in. We love doing this show now. I honestly, it's just seeing your engagement coming in. I think for George, Rheanna, Norma, myself, we love that. We love that feedback of talking about these things. And please do reach out to any one of us with
let us know your topics, what you want us to bring up.
It doesn't all, we don't, it doesn't always have to be controversial. It could be some wins in the industry. It could be something.
Oh, it really does. It does.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
It does.
One thing I'd really like to see for next time is if anyone that maybe follows this that owns a salon, like, do you, to bring up uncomfortable conversations or maybe to get your employees to see things from a different point of view, do you tell them to watch the show, or do you share the show? Would you ever put a show into a staff meeting to maybe get them to see?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody, because absolutely, I think that's a great idea. I think, look, okay, it's not, but the more people we have watching this of a community, we're not here, none of us are getting paid for doing this. We're doing this for our love. We are going to do a live show, by the way. That is something we are going to do. I promise you that. But we do want more of you telling people about this show. This isn't the gimmicky now. We really want to get down to the business. This is talking stuff that really matters for our industry. And you've all got to agree, how nice is this? Hanging out wherever you're probably sat on your armchair, sofa, maybe you're in bed watching this, who knows, wherever you're, but it's lovely. And we're going to be here every 2 weeks. Tell people about this. Please go and share this out. Because I think this is really powerful stuff, your voice coming into this. All right. So, yeah, fantastic. Look, George, Rheanna, really, again, it's another fabulous show. Great topics. Thank you for picking them. I don't know who will be here next 2 weeks, and we'll wait
I'll
and
be
see.
here. Can't get rid of me.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, so I wasn't going to be here tonight. So, but Norman, as we said, was. But yeah, the team are here, and there will be chances for many of you if you fancy that opportunity. You feel you got the right voice to come into the show. So look, Rheanna, George, go and hang out in the green room. If you need to go off and get your food, George, I get it. So say goodbye to Rheanna and George.
I can wait 2 minutes, Dom. Don't you worry.
Go put your mute on, and I'll be 2 seconds. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great show. Thank you, everybody, again tonight for all coming in. You really are making this show so special, and the community that comes in. Yeah, I can't say any more than that. So we will be back 2 weeks, Monday, whatever that. Hang on, is there when's the coronation? Is that on that Monday? Do we do it on the coronation night? I think we may have to change it for that one. I don't want Charlie Boy getting annoyed with me because we do that. So maybe I've got that wrong. But yeah, keep the dates. We'll be, let's say, we're now showing this in the How to Cut It hairdressing community and on my Facebook profile and on YouTube. Yes, we do have the slowest growing YouTube channel known to anybody. But come and give us a follow if you're on YouTube at How to Cut It. We're doing putting it on there. But yeah, thank you so much, Colette. Bloody love you guys and this program. It's just thank you, yeah, and we love you being here. Great stuff. I'm going to flag these all up in a minute, but look, thank you so much, everybody. Go careful. Have a great week, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks. So until next time, peace, love, and smiles all the way. Goodbye.